Hey, Steph.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Bariatric Banter Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we're coming up to the last 3 episodes of the year, folks.
Crazy.
4. 3? 4.
La-
Last 4 episodes of the
Last,
year.
last some.
It's crazy. Like, this is our technically, this is going out December, but I'm gonna say this is our last November episode of the year.
Right. Yeah,
And
because it's still November when we're recording it.
yeah, technically, like, just because it's December 1st when it goes out doesn't mean anything,
Yeah.
so it's happening. It's,
Wow.
wow. We're almost at a full year of doing this podcast. What?
Flying by.
And there's people who have, blown through all of our episodes in, like, a month.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
like, "Hey,
dangers out there.
yep, love you
Don't,
guys. Love that you've blown through it." And we are gonna respond to comments. Steph and I are just super slammed with work. So we both work in tech. It's the end of the year. Everything is always chaotic at the end of the year and there's a million
yeah.
things going on. We will respond. We're just busy. I know I haven't posted like anything on the bariatric Instagram. I'm still here. I'm just really on my own channel posting because I'm busy with like Christmas, travel, work, everything, but we're
All the
still here.
things.
We're still doing well. We're still hanging in there. Um
Life is busy right now.
it
It's
is.
it's
It is.
between work and life. It's just that crazy time where everything is just going
So
bonkers.
fast. It's going so fast. It's so busy. And like honestly, that's when I think it feels like bariatric surgery feels the most overwhelming. It
I
just feels like how am I supposed to stay on top of this when everything is so busy?
Yeah, because the last thing I wanna do is stop and track my food in my phone, but I know I have to, and
I
if I
know.
don't, I'm gonna forget it later or regret it later, but when I'm running around, the last thing I wanna do is, "Oh, hold on, gotta put my food in my phone."
Yeah.
But I gotta do it. Gotta
And
do
it's
it.
easier to avoid it. Like I definitely will say I prefer to avoid it because I don't wanna look at it, I don't wanna know
Yep,
where like, it's
deal with
just so
it.
much easier, it's like avoiding the scale, avoiding everything, and I
Out of
know that,
sight,
like,
out of mind.
being busy is, like, my crutch at the moment and my excuse
Yep.
to not deal with it, and it's like, this has to stop because we're reaching a time that, like, for some people will be easy, for others will be the scary times. I was just telling Steph, like, this Christmas, like, it's going to be game day, head down, like, there's not gonna be snacking and there's not chocolate and cookies and, like, not for me this year because I have fallen off the wagon, I've been working hard to get back on it, like, so for me, it's gonna be a very different Christmas of, like, no, there won't be exceptions this year, and some people will say, "Hey, that's harsh," but for me, it's what needs to happen. I'm trying to detox off of sugar again. I'm trying to really, really get myself back down to 10 grams or less per serving because I just went a little too wild this summer, gained a little bit more than I'm happy with, and I wanna really reset the clock, and I know that sugar is a really bad habit for me, just plays like a really bad habit, so
Yeah.
coming up on crunch time, we're tired,
You
we're exhausted.
Yeah, but you know what works for you, and you know what you
I
need to
do,
do, and you know
I
that
do.
that's the game plan for you, and so that's awesome, and
Yeah.
if that's what you gotta do, then I think you'll do it.
Yeah, and that's like I know exactly what works best for me, what I
Mhm.
wanna get back on top of, but we are coming up on that period of time for a lot of people, both pre and post-op, where it's a bit scary. It's the holidays, there's a lot of mingling, there's a lot of eating, it's very easy to just, "Oh, it's fine, I'll have some of this, I'll have some of that," and
This, a bite of this, a bite of this, and then you're 25 bites in, and
yep, and
yeah,
it doesn't show up right away, so there's the real danger. It doesn't show up even in a month, right? It's not gonna reflect on the scale a week or 2 after eating, and what ends up happening is those bad habits kinda slip in where you go, "Yeah, but I ate some of that at Christmas and I
I'm
was fine.
just
Everything
fine.
everything still fits fine, like, I'm fine," and then you kinda let it slide a bit more, and then it's not until you look and go, "Oh,
Oh,
that's
well,
30 pounds that I've gained? Oh, shit.
there it is.
Oh, no," and, like,
It's
it's
not an
easier.
overnight It's
Yep,
not an overnight thing. It
it's
slowly
not.
creeps in, and then you're into that bad habit now because by that point, it's become a habit, and we know how hard habits are to build, but how hard they are to break, and
Yes.
so then you're back in a habit because you've done it consistently, you haven't seen the negative impact, and
Mm.
then, like you said, by the time you do, not only now do you have to break that habit, but you have to undo everything else that has
The
happened since.
consequences.
Right, which
Yep.
is hard. And
And like, you all remember what it was like before surgery.
mhm.
Convincing yourself to give up those vices again is
I
even
don't wanna do that.
harder.
I
It's
don't wanna
even
okay.
harder.
No, doing it once is hard enough. I don't wanna do it twice.
No. And it's harder. And so, like,
Yeah,
yeah, we're coming up on crunch time. Like, we are at that, like, for me, this Christmas will be different. I'm gonna be way more stringent and way more strict on what I do. I am sticking to my walking and my exercising like crazy.
yeah,
I don't care if it's raining or snowing. I don't care if it's cold. Like, I am doing 10K a day minimum with this dog. We are going out 2 or 3 times a day. Like, it's just what we're doing
yes.
because I need to stay on top of that. So it sucks, right? Like, you'd kind of want to maybe put your feet up a little or rest a little, but I am responsible for why I'm in this situation. So would have been nice to not have to go out in the friggin' snowstorm this week? Probably. Is that
Yeah,
an option? Not at the moment, not until everything gets back where it's supposed to be, and then you're allowed to have flexibility and freedom to kind of
that's why you need a walking pad, Hannah.
I
I
had
ain't going out in this shit, let me tell you.
I got rid of it because I was running instead, and it was just easier to
I'm gonna send you a picture of me with my tea or hot chocolate or coffee
you're the
while
worst.
you're out in the in the
You
30 feet of snow.
Listen, I gotta take the dog anyway because I don't really think it's appropriate for him to pee on the patio. We'll see, maybe one day I'll just see how that works, but
Just
yeah,
go, go.
gotta take him out anyway, but it's fine. Yeah, he's looking at me like, "We're going out?" "No, we're not
What?
going out." Not at all. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting Christmas. I'm not that worried about it, but it will be because I know how to stay on top of it and why it's appropriate to stay on top of it. So
Yep.
we're coming up on that time of year. Work parties, Christmas parties, gifts from people. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where like I think last year or the year before, I would just re-gift food that I was given
Yeah.
in the nicest way possible. I would just be like, "Oh, I can't have this. I'm gonna re-gift it."
Yeah.
That's my recommendation as well. It's a slippery slope to keep the candy and the chocolates and the stuff in the house.
It's so hard with all the social gatherings around the holidays. That's the
It
one thing, like, I
is.
sound like such a antisocial person, but being out where we don't have as many social get-togethers as we used to when we lived in town. So,
Mhm.
which on one hand is not as fun, but on the other hand has been a huge saving grace because we don't have so many parties, we don't have so many get-togethers, we weren't surrounded by that. We got
Ah,
we got snowed in the other year, so we couldn't go anywhere, so that was super helpful and handy, because we couldn't make it to half of the Christmas activities we were supposed to go to, because we got snowed in and everything was closed, so I got really lucky, but even then, you have to remember the why,
you do.
you have to remember all the work you've put in, and you just have to, like we said, remember how it can be a slippery slope, and, like, you know that for you, you need to put your foot down and you need to be
Yeah.
super strict, and maybe the next person doesn't have to do that, right? Like, we're not saying you can't
No.
have any treats at Christmas, right?
Never,
We just
never.
we just talked in our last episode about, like, not having diet mentality and not
Correct.
having the pizza. However,
Mm,
you also have to know what works for you, and you have to know what you can handle and be honest with yourself, right? If you are
correct.
the person that can have a bite of the cookie and be like, "Yeah, that's good. I had it. I'm fine." Cool. But if you know that you're gonna have that first bite and go, "Oh my god, that was so good," and
And
then all
that's
of
all
a
you're gonna
sudden
think
you're gonna
about.
be done, maybe it's better if you just skip the cookie.
Yep, because you don't wanna start obsessing over it or thinking about it. It's just little things, and it's right, it's not we don't like the diet mentality where you can't have this and you can't have that, and we're definitely not advocating for that. It's just more of a, I know that at this time,
Yeah,
this is a challenge for me, and I'm just gonna be more strict than I have been maybe in the past where I've
yeah,
had some of this and had some of that and had some of this because I know that I'm in a period of time right now where I'm trying to rein that in. If
mhm,
I was a little bit better behaved and I was okay with it, great, but I know that things got just a little bit out of hand, and I know how addicting the sugar can be, and it's little things too, like, I would rather have like one of my really good, like my, what is it? Spiced pear and maple
Yeah,
yogurt, like that shit is
so
the
good.
best yogurt. I'd rather have that with like some banana or like stew some apples like in a pan. Like I'd rather make something that I can have
Mhm.
versus eating like those mint smoothie squares or like the new thing,
Oh,
those
yeah.
Reed's makes this
Yes.
chocolate mint smoothie that's basically like, I don't know, a half pound brick of chocolate. And I did the math on the it's like 30 grams of sugar in that, and I was like, "Hey, so
Insane.
could somebody eat it? Yes, the size probably could be easy to get down. Should you? I'm gonna say probably not.
Pants.
It's just gonna, well, I mean, even if you didn't, right? It's a slippery slope because 'cause you're gonna have one and then
Then
you're
the
still
sugar high is gonna
gonna have
hit.
other like, are you gonna be strict enough to go, "That's my one thing, and I'm not
Right.
gonna eat any more chocolate or cookies this week"? Probably not. So,
Once you
I
get
have
30
to.
grams of sugar in your body's gonna be off the wall, and it's just gonna say, "Give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more."
Yeah, it's gonna want that all the time. I think that's the thing that, like, I struggled with, and I'm sure other people are as well, is that there isn't, like, an instant connection. You don't have that, and then your body goes, "Oh my god, I'm addicted to sugar, here we go." But you don't realize that I don't even know how to describe it. Like, your body and the sugar in your body is almost subliminally making you choose other things. Like, we all know food noise is a problem, and again, you've heard us say we're obese for a reason. We definitely didn't get hit with genetic like, genetics play a role in it, guys, but it didn't make us 3 to 400 pounds, right? It made it so that it was really hard for us to lose weight, but what I'm worried about, because 'cause I'm noticing it, is because I've let some bad habits back in and let some eating patterns slide, it's almost subliminal now sometimes, where I'll just be in the kitchen
Mhm.
picking something and I'll go, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Like,
You're not even
"No."
thinking
Or
anymore.
that little voice that's like, "Oh, you have pottery in an hour and you didn't make dinner and you should just go to McDonald's and it's fine to have McDonald's one day a week, like, it's on your way to pottery and you should just go get," like, but it's so subliminally in there, and it's so good at convincing you that it's totally okay, and I do blame the sugar and the bad eating because, like, it has never been this bad, um, that I've had to fight those like, "Whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah,
No, you won't be eating that. No, you will not be taking it takeout. No, you just because you can have a mint smoothie bar does not mean you need to," like,
yep.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm fighting with myself that, like, why did you have the surgery if you're going to then
Mhm.
just go back
You're
to
just
eating all this stuff?
Yeah. If you're just gonna let all your old habits slip in,
Yep.
what what was
What
the
was the
point?
point? And then
Why
it's like, yes, we do. This is, I know we're contradicting ourselves. Yes, we do say diet mentality is not what we promote here, and it's not. However, nowhere in surgery did it say you can have the surgery and go back to eating shit. Like, it definitely said to be successful, like, some of you, most of you will have to give up fast food, chocolates, candy forever. Like, we know those things cause you to gain weight, cause anybody, not just
Right.
obese people, but anybody.
Yeah, and it
And
goes back to because most of us don't have the discipline to
correct.
only have the one bite or to only have the McDonald's chicken nuggets once a month or once every 2 months or whatever it may be. Most of us have the personality type where once we taste it and once we have it, we need it and we
Yep.
can't shut it off. And
Yep.
so that's where that comes from. It's not the fact that food this is bad and you can't ever put this in your body. It's
No.
because a lot of us don't have the willpower and the discipline to stop after the bite or stop after
Yeah.
that little piece goes in, you're satiated, you're good. We convince ourselves that, well, we can just have a little bit more. Well, we can just have a little bit
Tiny
more.
bit. We can have a
And
little.
that's where it comes from. And
'Cause
that
we're addicts.
yeah,
Like,
and that's why, like, they talk about transfer addiction because that mentality
yes.
and that personality trait is so hard to get rid of that a lot of people transfer that into something else because they can't turn it off.
Gym, excessive shopping,
Shopping,
drinking.
alcohol,
Yeah, they transfer it
gambling,
to a lot of
whatever.
things because none of us wanna deal with the uncomfortable feelings or emotions or whatever it is that drove us to eat, and so we desperately wanna put that off in other places, but you're right, like, and I don't use the word addicts lightly, and I am in no way trying to say what a drug addict goes through and what we go through is the same. However, obesity has been classified as an addiction. It is an issue. It's an epidemic. It is what it is. It's not even that you won't be able to stop in that moment, because a lot of people listening are gonna be like, "Oh, guys, like, I can have half a muffin and be fine." And, like, I've walked away from cookies and stuff,
Well, what
but
are you having 2 hours later and
it's
2 hours later?
it's that even if you don't finish the whole thing and you portion control and you feel good about it, it's that eventually things start to slide. Not in that moment, maybe, but eventually, where it's like, well, I'm going to have another thing later today. Or, well, I'm going to have a chocolate, even though I had one at the beginning of the week. Whatever, it's far enough apart. I don't really need to go out for a walk today. Like, I'm doing really good and I've lost a lot of, like, you
Yeah,
start making excuses because your old self.
kicks in.
Okay, so how do they describe, like, in therapy, they describe it as your brain makes pathways.
Yeah.
So when you have anxiety, it carves a pathway and it always just wants to stay in the path. It really doesn't want to make new paths. So that's why it's like sometimes certain things will just cause you to react a certain way. It's your brain being like, "Oh, there's the path. I know that path. I'm going to run down that path." And it's like,
Familiar.
"Oh, I thought we dealt with this. Like, why are we still going down this path?" "Oh, cuz it exists and I just want to use it." So your body's the same way. It got obese following a path. It knows exactly what to do to get you to eat, to get you to be obese, and to get you to do exactly what it wants to do, because, like, ultimately,
Yeah.
it wants to be able to go back to eating whatever the fuck it wants to eat, like,
Resistance
it
because
that
it's
that
already
part of you
there.
is there.
Yeah, it's the path of least resistance. The path is already there. It's already laid out. It's already cleared. It's easy to get there versus having to build a new path and clear down the trees and clear out the way and cut the grass and pull the stones out and make that path takes work and time and effort. And if we don't have to do that, then why would we do that?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that old you is still, like, that old obese
Still
you is
there.
still in there. It doesn't just magically disappear because you've had bariatric surgery. And whether it's a year post-op, 3 years, 10 years, everyone who's had surgery has said there was a moment in time where the noise came back, where there was a bit of regain, like, every single person from the
It's
best of
going to happen.
bodybuilders to other, like, and some people
You
can't
can't
fight
escape.
it and gain everything back, and some people get back on top of it, but everybody will go through this moment where that old person comes back and all those little excuses and that self-soothing, "Oh, are you feeling sick? Like, I think it's totally okay to have that because 'cause you're just not feeling well." Like,
"Oh,
those
you're
excuses come
tired
back.
today. Just have it."
"Oh, it's fine. You've lost so much weight, like, it's totally fine. Oh my god, it's only 5 pounds. Like, you can lose that tomorrow. You'll start working out a bit more harder tomorrow. You know what? You'll start meal prepping in a week. Like, it's totally fine. You're gonna get back on top of this. Don't even worry." All those voices keep coming back to justify letting you make bad decisions, and it's very easy to slide back in, and you think it wouldn't be, and you think you'll fight it, but your body is really good at knowing how to convince you not to. And that's what I think everyone needs to remember is, like, it comes when you're not able to fight it, right? Like, it's not gonna come on a
You
day
don't even realize it's there.
devoured. It ding, ding, ding. It doesn't show up on a day that you are, like, eating your Wheaties and feeling like, it slips in when you least
After you've
expect
done
it.
it, you've eaten it, and then you're sitting there 10 minutes later and go,
"Oh
"Oh
my
my
god,
god, what did I just do?"
why did I do that?"
And you almost go into, like, robot mode, and you didn't even realize
Yep,
that you did it and that it's happened, and at that point, it's
correct.
over, and then you just sit there going, "Oh,
Yep.
shit.
And then you get kind of further down, and
Well, I
then the
already
voice
screwed
starts
it
saying,
up, I might as
"Well,
well
you
just
know what? I've already gained 10 pounds. What's another 5?" And, "Oh, I could go on Ozempic and lose it all," or, "Oh, I'll deal with it." Like, you start to get, because, like,
you
I'm
start
telling you, I've
spiraling.
gone through this cycle.
Yep,
I'll go on Ozempic, it'll be fine. "Oh, I'll start exercising more tomorrow. Oh, I'll meal prep," like, and it
yeah,
really took a moment sitting in the doctor's office, like, a month ago for us to be like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?" And
yeah,
it's like, "Holy sweet fuck." I was like, "Listen, I know that we talked about Ozempic for blood sugar, so I think I used it as an excuse to just stop caring about things, because
right,
I was like, 'Oh, well, we're gonna start it for blood sugar.' And
yeah,
spoilers, I haven't started it yet because my blood sugar ended up, like, kind
fine.
of overnight just figuring its shit out, and so now we're just doing some blood work to be like, "What the,
What's
what
going
went
on?"
on there? What," like, I'm fine, but he was like, "Huh," and I was like, "Yep, told you it was, like, a weird blip." But I think knowing that in the summer, knowing in August that we had this conversation that, I was gonna get the prescription in September, I definitely heard the voice being like, "Whatever, you're gonna start Ozempic soon, so, like, do whatever the
Right,
fuck you want.
good.
Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want." And I moved, and I had all this, like, I had a lot of stress and things going on, And when
Yep.
that happens, you just stop putting
Caring.
effort into other things, right? That you
Yep.
think you can just put on autopilot. And that's when, I was in his office before October and he was like, so we've gained some weight. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, it felt overwhelming to be like,
Oh,
how the fuck am I
how
supposed
did
to
I
lose
get here?
20 pounds?
Yep.
Like, this is like, and I remember just being like, how in the fuck did this happen? Well, I stopped running because I had blood sugar issues. I started eating more sugar because I thought I had to balance the low blood sugar issues, right? Like, I didn't have high blood sugar. I was having really low blood sugar. So I tried to course correct it by like
Yeah.
increasing sugar and like I can tell you right from the moment I started doing that till now that sugar had a really bad impact on me and it wasn't instantaneous. It
No, it
took
builds
until
up
like
over time.
now.
Yeah.
It was
It's no,
bullshit.
it builds up over time, and
My God.
that that voice is scary, and that's why, like, we've said so many times too, and I was talking to somebody on the weekend who, actually is a friend of Denise's. We talk about Denise all the
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and she's gonna be starting, her surgical journey. She got accepted into the program, so
That's
we were chatting
exciting.
and talking, and I said, "That's why we say that so much of this is mental," and I said
Yeah.
to her, "Get your shit in ch" I said it nicer, but I said, "Get your shit in check now." I said,
Yes.
"Get your habits in place now. Start tracking your food. Start walking. Start working on your hydration. You don't have to perfect it now, but start
Start
building
now.
out those habits now because once for me, now that I've hit 12 months and literally like a frickin' switch went off and I stopped losing and I said, "Now for me, it's mental. I know how to track my food. I know how to do my portions. I know my macros. I know what I need to eat. I know all of that stuff. Now the mental game kicks in, and this is where the voice is coming back because I literally hit 12 months and the scale stopped. I have been yo-yoing back and forth between 1.5 pounds for the last 6 weeks, and I am beyond pissed off about it. And I just before this had a call with my new therapist who, oh my gosh, I love her so much. But anyway, we were chatting and I was telling her, like, I picked this arbitrary number that I should not have picked. I picked a goal weight, which we're not supposed to do. And I said, I don't know where I got the number from. I don't know why I picked this number. I don't know where I got the number from, but somehow got it in my head that this is the number I need to hit. And now I'm really pissed off that I'm not losing at all. The scale is not moving and I'm doing all the things. And so now that little voice kicks in and says, well, what's the point? Why are you still doing all the things if 6 weeks later
Mm,
nothing's happening? Why are you still working out and why are you tracking your food? And clearly like, why? Why are you doing this? And that's when you need to start remembering all of the other reasons why, all of the
yes.
other good things, all of the other positive things, because that's when it creeps in of,
It creeps in.
well, if the scale's not moving anyway, then just have some cookie. Like, it's not gonna impact anything because you're not moving anyway. And it easily starts to creep in, and that's when you have to have those habits in place, and you have to have every those
Yeah.
things nailed down so that, number 1, you can have your other item that you're gonna turn to. I'm not gonna have the cookie, I'm gonna have my tea. I'm not gonna have the cookie, I'm gonna have a decaf coffee, or I'm gonna have whatever. And no, I need to move my body because I know my VO2 max has gone up. I know my blood pressure has gone down. I
Mhm.
know, my blood work has come back you have to have other motivators because that's the other thing that I was talking to her about is when you're in that initial phase and the weight's falling off, you're so motivated. You're so motivated to keep going because you're having success, and for so many of us, we haven't had success in so long,
Correct.
or it's such short-term success, and then we plateau and then we fail. So, it's so easy to stay on track because the weight is falling off. When
100%.
that Yeah, and when that stops, that motivation is gone
Yeah. And like,
because again, why am I getting up at 5 to work out and track
yeah.
my food when before the scale would move every day or every couple days? Yeah, maybe it'll
Yes.
go up for 2 days, but I know it's coming down. But
Yeah.
now, 6 weeks in, it's not moving an inch.
Correct.
So, Why
And
am I doing this?
it gets frustrating, and that voice
Mhm.
is real, like and sometimes it comes at a year, sometimes it comes at 2, sometimes it comes at
Yep.
3, but there just kinda comes a moment
Just
where
sitting waiting for the
it's
right time to sneak in.
yep, to sneak in and start to go, "Ooh, I found the weak season.
Around you.
I found it. I'm gonna sneak in and I'm gonna convince them to, like, stop working on this and stop doing it." And if you gain a little bit of weight, it gets even worse, and then also
Mhm.
sometimes you just have bad seasons. So sometimes the winter season is great. Everybody seems to be in, like, a great mood, and
Yeah.
they're handling the weather really well, and then sometimes the seasons are shit, and unfortunately, this feels like one
Shit.
of those shit seasons where everybody seems like they're kinda struggling a little,
Exactly.
and they're a little down and a little depressed. Like, seasonal affective disorder seems to be really hitting people hard this year. This is that prime time to be like, "Well, just sit and eat during the winter, who cares?" "Oh, you know what? It's dark and depressing. Just eat. If eating makes you feel happy, then just eat," or blah, blah, blah. So, like, you have to also watch
Spring.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to watch even those things too, right? Like, you just have to watch, like, am I eating for the right reasons? Like, am I just replacing am I literally going back to where I was before, where I'm eating to soothe myself or eating because I'm stressed or eating because it's winter or eating because like,
Or am I
those
actually hungry?
yeah, and those come back, and, like,
Yeah.
this notion that you'll have restriction for the rest of your life or that surgery doesn't work because you can eat anything, like, surgery's not magic, so you'll go back to full portion sizes, you will go back to being able to eat high sugar, high fat, you will not have restrictions forever, and that's why, like, we stress the habits. I don't like when people are like, "Well, I can have it now during my first year," like, whatever, like, stop trying to get away with eating stuff you know you're not supposed to,
Making
even
excuses.
if you feel good.
Mhm.
I'm tired of hearing, "Well, I ate it and I felt fine." Like, "Oh, Hannah, you can't have ice cream." I ate ice cream and I feel totally fine about it, and it's like, "Okay, well, I can't not because 'cause I'll shit my pants," but I was like, "Also, I shouldn't be, though. I shouldn't have been trying to eat ice cream in my first year." I'm glad that I had the reaction I had because what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I don't know, there's a lot of people that will post online and a lot of people I just know who've had the surgery that are constantly talking about, "When can I eat this again?" or, "I can eat this again and I love it," and I'm like, and they just wanna go back to eating all the things they
I
ate
can still eat
before.
a Big Mac. Okay, but that doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you should be
Right?
getting takeout or going to a restaurant 3 times a week or eating ice cream or eat like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, because this
That's
is where the problem comes from.
yeah.
You
And
need
that's
to
not a
have
surgery only thing. That's just it being
that's just
mindful.
a life thing. If you were on a diet or you were training for something, like, once you stop doing that, it comes back. So, like, it's the same with surgery where unless you're going to make exercise and, like, your new like, really never miss a day, then if you eat that stuff, it will cause
It
you to
will
gain
catch up
weight.
with you.
You
It will.
will gain weight. Like, that's what we learned in the program. Eat whole foods, eat healthy, meal prep, occasional snacks. I think people need to learn, like, occasional means, like, maybe once a month, not several times a week,
No.
not
An occasional I say nuggets at McDonald's just because they fit into macros fairly well.
yeah, they do
Um,
actually.
yeah, but, like, nuggets at McDonald's occasionally means it's been absolutely crazy. I'm running around with the kids. We're on the road all day. I forgot to pack my snacks or I ran out and I'm just super starving. Okay, I'll grab my nuggets. I'll have my 2 or 3 nuggets and I'll call it a day.
Yep.
Does that mean next week I do it again?
No.
No. No, that means next week I remember to pack my food properly
Next
and
week, I plan a little better and
then
yeah.
maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks later, okay, I'm on a road trip and I'm really hungry and okay, I'll have 2 or 3 nuggets. Occasionally, but occasionally is not a weekly trip to McDonald's.
It's not. And
No,
it's not a weekly donut or a weekly
no.
muffin. It's like if you're
And
crea
again, I will fit those into my day. I will track those and I will account for them and I will have the rest of my day fit around that.
but
Also,
I'll
that's
try to make
another
better
part.
choices. I will somebody close to me, like, said a really great thing that I was like, "Yeah, I actually agree with that." If I'm craving it, I'll make it instead of buy it. So if I
Yeah.
really want a Big Mac, if I'm really craving a donut, blah, 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 like, I'll buy the ingredients and I'll make a version myself, and if I can't be bothered to do that, then I don't fucking need it. And I was like, "Ooh, that's actually really smart." Like, because there's also gonna be the convenience aspect where that voice
Totally.
is gonna convince you that it's totally okay to order that really
Yeah.
quickly or the notorious habit. well, I'm gonna get a coffee and I don't wanna just order a coffee.
Might as well get a donut too.
Probably order something with it, and, I
Yep,
haven't had breakfast, so I should have something, and there's that voice again. It's
yep,
not always gonna be as obvious, but it's gonna say something like, "You know what, though, Hannah? It's 9 a.m. and you're gonna be out till 11 and you didn't have breakfast, and, like, you need protein and some
yep.
sugar, so, like, you should probably get something while you're getting a coffee, and, like, that has protein
It's
in it, so go
justifying
do
it
that."
for you.
And then you're like, "Or I should have planned better, had my
Mhm.
breakfast, done my meal prepping," because it's gonna become that slippery slope of, "Well, I let it in." And then we know, and I'm not you guys know me, I'm not one of those, like, tinfoil hat people, but processed food and sugar, like, it eventually changes the way you start thinking and negotiating with yourself.
And
And
just the way you feel, the bloat, the tiredness, the blah, because then it adds up, right? Then you're bloated, then you're tired, then you don't feel like making anything, or you don't feel like
Mhm.
exercising because you're so bloated because you ate the Big Mac and you feel like
Yeah,
it just spirals. And so again, like we're not saying never, but there's just seems to be number one, so many people out there excusing it.
struggling. Yeah,
And like we've talked about, so many people who go into either the bariatric journey or the weight loss journey, and I talked about this in my therapist today too, about failure. And I was talking to her about, if I don't hit this number and how pissed off I am at myself. And she said, What does it mean to you though?" And I said, "Well, that I failed."
yeah,
And she said, "Well, what is that? What does failure mean to you?" And we were talking about that and where my experiences with failure in the past have been.
yep,
And so I was talking about in weight loss in the past, it's been that I try something and then I plateau where I don't see results and I gain it back and then I fail and then I try something new and it was Steph would try every fad there was and then fail. And so I said to her, I think now looking back and having done this program, as we've talked about, we both feel that there's pros and cons to the program we did.
absolutely,
There's
we have our issues with it.
but I said to her, now looking back, the thing that I can clearly see was missing every other time I did something was the mental element of it. I always had somebody or something telling me the workout I had to do or telling me the food I had to eat.
Yep,
But I was never addressing the why and the how. And I was never working on the mental side and the food relationship side and the how did I get here side. And I feel now without all of those elements working together, you cannot see long-term success,
no,
is just what I think. And so that's where
that's smart,
we
though.
talked about, like, so much of this being a mental game.
And it's
Um,
like an education game too, because
is
you
and
can have
that's why I like that our program was so long because they force you
yes,
to look at the mental side. And I think that's key to anybody who's on any sort of weight loss or health
yes.
is you have working out's great, moving your body's great, eating well is great, but so much of it becomes a mental game with yourself and with the world around you. But the
Yeah,
mental
it's how you navigate the world, and I think
Mhm.
that was the big problem for me was that, like, sure, you can have a trainer tell you what to do, and sure, you can have a dietitian kinda tell you what to eat, but that's, like, 1 hour during your week that somebody says something to you, right? And you then have to go make all these choices on your own, and I think for me, the thing that was always missing was the education piece. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't know how to truly meal prep or what calories and macros to do or what vitamins to take or how to be like,
have
there was
protein and sugar.
no training. Yeah, there was no training on, like, sugar levels and other levels and things like that, like, it didn't exist, and I didn't have, like, resources to pull on, and then obviously you didn't see success on top of that, but, like, I think there was just a lot missing, so I think that's part of what we mean when we say, like, the mental game. It's that, educating yourself against what's going on in the world and in your environment, and how do you eat out, and how do you do this, and how do you do that,
What's
and
your relationship with food? And, like, for me, it's, like, acknowledging that I was a boredom eater and acknowledging about how so much of my life in terms of reward came in the form of food,
Yep.
and how much of my social life revolved around people are coming over, I have to put food out, right?
So
And so I never took the time to think about that and to look at that, and that's such a huge part of my life outside of, like I said, that hour workout or that little bit of meal prepping, and it's such a big piece of the puzzle, and until you can put all those pieces together and kinda go, "Oh, okay, that's why I do this, and that's where this
yep.
comes from." You can't fully navigate the whole
Nope.
journey, I think. You'll get to a certain point, But
But
then,
we've
like,
all
someone
been to that point. We've
yeah,
all been
once
able to lose a
those
bit of
voices
weight.
come back in, you don't have any tools to
No.
push them away and to fight them back and to say, "No, I know what this is. I know why this is happening, and this is what I can do to fix it or to fight back."
Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? Like, it was, being able to identify that, like, you eat out of nesting, out of boredom, out of this, out
Yeah,
of reward, out of that, like, because food was easy, but I think also it was, like, learning that our culture is super centered around food, and, like, this program kinda teaches you how to have a voice to be like, "Oh, no, I'm okay. Like, I don't need to eat that." Like, there's so much that you don't realize is going on, like being the fat friend, which we've talked about on an episode, and how people kind of subliminally keep you there because they feel better about themselves, so they encourage you to eat, and they encourage you to snack, and people gifting you food. Like, if there's one thing I can definitely take away from this is that the people around me have changed how they interact with me when it
yeah,
comes to food, and I love that. So I'm no longer gifted food. I'm no longer gifted snacks. Like, my parents try really hard to make super healthy desserts, and they always ask me, "What should we make when you come down?" And I can portion my own plate now. Like, it's just there's a lot that I didn't know that goes into this, right? Like
yeah.
eating when you wake up and having snacks. And so that's a lot of too what we mean by the mental side of this. Like, yes, you'll have to work on your relationship with it, but you'll also have to learn structure, routine, how to keep a schedule, how to meal prep, how to calorie count, how to be comfortable standing on the scale and being okay with that, and then how to advocate, how to start saying, like, no, I don't need that. That's okay. Thank you. That was telling people I don't drink was so hard at the beginning because they wouldn't get it. "Oh, well, like, just have a drink, though." "No, I don't drink." And there's another aspect of it. If you choose to, that's okay. We definitely are fine with bariatric patients drinking,
Yeah,
but that is another hurdle that a lot of people have to get over, especially heavy
knowing
drinkers.
what works for you and what doesn't.
Yep. There's
Yeah,
things that you have to give up before surgery. There's things that you'll have to get used to after surgery. And then it's a lifelong thing. There's a great influencer we follow who's having issues with her iron. Now, that's not related to just bariatric surgery. Lots of women have iron problems. However, she took her vitamins regularly and did what she was supposed to do, and now is having a little bit of a needs a transfusion to help with her iron. Like, this is not a I had surgery and now I'm done and I'm like this forever journey. There's going to be regain, there's going to be loss, there's going to be issues with vitamins, there's going to be need to be tweaking down the road. But if you can't stay on top of your vitamins and your prepping and your eating, like, you will regain. You better be prepared for it. And once it starts, it is such a slippery slope because it's not just the weight that comes back, it's the habits, it's that shitty voice in your head, it's that obese version of you that really wants to come back and be obese again. And it's a lot because
mm,
you're not in the program anymore. So you kind of have to rely on yourself and
yeah,
get yourself to kind of kick its own ass into gear.
totally, totally.
It's interesting. But
It
you'll
is.
all survive Christmas. You're going to get through it. It's not as daunting as it sounds. It's not as scary. We've all been there. We've all made it through. It's just a time that maybe some people need to be a little more reflective than others
Yep,
on what's around them, what's on their plate, what's going on. But you
you
can
got it.
absolutely indulge and still enjoy your holidays. Just find your new level of indulgence. That's all.
Yeah, you got it.
It's good. Well, we have 3 more episodes to wrap up the end of the year, so we're gonna put it out to you. What do you wanna see us talk about and cover in the last 3 episodes of 2025? Can't believe I'm
Listener's
saying
choice,
that.
right?
Can't
It
believe I'm saying
flew
that, but
by.
I
Flew
wanna know what you wanna hear, what you want us to cover, and I think maybe our very last episode of the year, we'd love to do, comments and letters from the fans. So send us in anything you would like on Instagram that you'd like us to answer on air or cover. We would absolutely love to do that. We're trying to organize one episode to bring a family member on because we had a great question about, can you talk about how family can prepare for surgery? Really good question. We didn't even think about it. So we're trying to make that happen where we'll look to bring somebody on that was our caregiver and hear their side of things. But yeah, like always, Steph, just thank you for joining me on today's episode. And everybody, I can't believe we're at the end of a year with 3 episodes left. It's all
crazy.
because you listen and you interact with us, and we wouldn't be here without you guys.
Love it. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.